Hi, my name is Danielle Carson. I'm a journalism and media production major, but before I delve too far into who I am, I'd like to introduce to you my very best friend, Billie Jean. She is actually a certified trick trained dog. She's in her intermediate level, and she was the inspiration behind why I ever got into dog training at all. And today I'd like to discuss a few different ways you can train your dogs at home using 3 different methods: positive reinforcement, the scientific method, and mirror training. Now there are more than that, but we're just going to cover those 3 for today. So to start things off, I would like to show you some demonstrations about positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is pretty much you rewarding the good things that the dog does or whatever you're asking it to do. For example, if I asked her to lay down, the minute that she would lay down, I would reinforce that with a treat, with praise, or if a dog really loves toys, then I would use a toy as well. Now, a key part to positive reinforcement is you do not reprimand the dog for doing something wrong. You actually completely ignore that, or you set them up to make the right choice. So let's say I had asked her to lay down and she didn't do it. So I would use this as a lure and get her to actually move her body down lower, and as soon as she laid down, I would reward her for that. I would not do anything if she was making the wrong choice or just was getting really frustrated. I wouldn't do anything to correct it or fix what she was doing at all. The difference between positive reinforcement training and the scientific method that we're going to discuss next, there are 2 major differences, but for the majority of training, they're actually quite the same. So with scientific training, you actually may end up using some sort of punishment, which is not what you think it is. It has nothing to do with physical or abusive methods towards dogs. Lay down. Lay down. Stay. It has nothing to do with being abusive towards dogs. It actually is a way to make your dog uncomfortable in order for them to make the right choice naturally. Because a major part of scientific training has to do with the fact we need to understand a dog's natural behavior and a dog's natural tendencies. And then we take that information and base our training around that. Now, according to a source that I was looking at called dogtimes.com, the reward training for that type of training is pretty intriguing because you don't use any rewards like treats or praise or toys, because that's not anything they would have in the wild. You actually try to understand the psychology of what a dog wants and use that to your advantage. Now, the last dog training method that you can use is called mirror training. This is something I had no idea about until I was researching dog training methods. And I believe it's called a Hungarian clicker training method. Now, according to lovetoknow.dogs.com, they discuss the fact that with this, it is very similar to positive reinforcement with an emphasis on clicker training. Now, a clicker is kind of like a little button. It makes a clicking noise, and it is a cue for a dog to understand that when they hear that, they will get a treat. So that makes it easier for you to associate a good thing like the treat or the clicker with whatever they're doing. It's just a way for you to be faster and for you to reward that action as quickly as possible. Now, with mirror training, a major difference between that one and the other 2 we've been discussing is the fact that you as the owner or another dog actually model the behavior that you're wanting the dog to do. A dog will naturally want to do the same thing that they see their owner or another dog that they want to be around. They'll naturally want to do whatever it is they're doing. So if you want your dog to sit, if you were to use mirror training, you would sit down on the floor and get them to want to be sitting down with you. And then you reward that with a click or with a treat. Now, we've discussed 3 different methods, including positive reinforcement, which uses all treats, no reprimands; scientific training, which sometimes includes treats and all the time includes treats, oh my lord, which sometimes includes treats and sometimes includes punishments; and last but not least, the Hungarian clicker training method, which includes you doing some dog actions I hope these are helpful for you and you decide to get into training yourself.